What if I told you that the most terrifying things in history didn't happen in horror movies, they happened in government laboratories, military bases, and prison cells? Real people. Real suffering. Real governments. These are not conspiracy theories. These are declassified, documented, proven facts that your history teacher never told you about. Welcome to Shockpedia. And today, we're counting down the top 10 most shocking secret government experiments that actually happened. Stay until number 1. Because the last one will change how you see the world. Number 5, Operation Sea Spray. 1950 United States. In 1950, the United States Navy decided to use the city of San Francisco as a laboratory. Without telling a single citizen, they released massive clouds of bacteria called Serratia marcescens over the city from a military ship. The goal? To test how biological weapons would spread over a large civilian population in a real attack scenario. The result? Hundreds of people fell ill. At least one man, Edward Nevin, died. For decades, the government denied it ever happened. It wasn't until 1977 that the truth came out in a Senate hearing. The people of San Francisco had been used as human guinea pigs, and they never even knew it. But that's not even the worst of it. Number 4, Holmesburg Prison Experiment 1951–1974 Philadelphia, USA. For over 20 years, a dermatologist named Dr. Albert Kligman ran experiments on prisoners at Holmesburg Prison in Philadelphia. He injected inmates with viruses, exposed them to radioactive isotopes, tested mind-altering drugs, and applied dioxin, one of the most toxic chemicals known to man, directly onto their skin. The prisoners were paid small amounts of money. Many had no idea what was being done to them. Dr. Kligman later said, and this is a real quote, "All I saw before me were acres of skin. It was like a farmer seeing a field for the first time." He never faced criminal charges. In fact, he went on to become famous for inventing Retin-A, a best-selling skincare product still sold today. Number 3, the Soviet Poison Laboratory. 1921–1991 Soviet Union. Deep inside the Soviet Union existed a secret facility known only as Chamber Number 1, or among insiders, simply the laboratory. Its sole purpose was to develop undetectable poisons to assassinate enemies of the state. Scientists there experimented on prisoners sentenced to death, testing poisons that left no trace in the body. They developed a substance called C2, which caused death that looked completely natural, mimicking heart failure or respiratory collapse. The laboratory operated for 70 years. Some historians believe its methods are still being used today, pointing to the mysterious deaths of several Russian dissidents in recent decades. Number 2, Unit 731. 1937–1945 Manchuria, China. Unit 731 was a covert biological and chemical warfare research unit of the Imperial Japanese Army. Operating in occupied China during World War II, they conducted experiments on prisoners of war and civilians so horrific they are almost impossible to describe. Vivisections performed on live, conscious humans. Limbs deliberately frozen and amputated. Subjects infected with plague, cholera, and typhoid to study the progression of disease. An estimated 3,000 to 12,000 people died in these experiments. Here is where it gets even darker. After the war, the United States gave full immunity to the scientists of Unit 731, in exchange for their research data. Not a single member was prosecuted at the Nuremberg trials. The research was considered too valuable to waste on justice. Number 1, MKUltra. 1953–1973 CIA, United States. And finally, Number 1. In 1953, the CIA launched a top-secret program called MKUltra. The goal? To develop mind control techniques that could be used against Soviet enemies during the Cold War. What actually happened was something far darker. The CIA conducted experiments on thousands of unwitting subjects, including American and Canadian citizens, mental patients, prisoners, drug addicts, and sex workers, people they believed wouldn't be believed if they came forward. They dosed subjects with massive amounts of LSD without their knowledge. They used electroshock therapy to destroy memories and reprogram the brain. They ran safe houses where people were kept drugged for weeks while CIA agents monitored their behavior through one-way mirrors. One CIA employee named Frank Olson was dosed with LSD without his knowledge. 9 days later, he fell from a New York hotel window. His death was ruled a suicide. His family believes he was murdered. In 1973, as the Watergate scandal was consuming Washington, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of all MKUltra files. Most records were gone forever. What we know today, we know only because a small number of documents survived by accident, misfiled in a financial records room. The full truth of MKUltra will likely never be known. And that is the most terrifying fact of all.